Hi guys, Laura here. I'm here today to do a non-spoiler review of Chaple Wars by Lindsay Levitt. I really like this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. The only reason I gave it 4.5 stars is because the romance was like a little bit predictable, and I'm not normally a big fan of romances, but I really like this book. I thought it was a really good mix of a contemporary with romance and self-discovery, and also a little bit of like wedding and romantic, and it was also a little bit deep, which I was not expecting going into it. The premise of the book is about this girl named Holly who works at her grandfather's and her family's wedding chapel, and they're in constant competition with a chapel that's across the road. It takes place in Las Vegas. And her grandfather recently passes away, and in his will, he leaves the chapel to Holly, who's 17 years old. And it's also discovered that basically there's some money issues, and they don't have the money to keep up the loan. So it's really more of it becomes a romance because she falls in love with the guy that's across the street. But to me, it was really more of like a self discovery and dealing with death, and especially when death's unexpected. And it was really an interesting story because the unexpected deaths happen on both sides of the romance triangle, and you really saw how it affected both characters. And I thought that their romance was interesting because it didn't just have to deal with the romance, it also dealt with livelihood and business. And, what happens when your world falls apart and you don't know what to do. And I thought it was very interesting to see how both Dax and Holly handled it. But the self discovery was interesting because it basically asked the question, when your dream can no longer be your dream, what do you do? And it happened to Holly in a way, and it happened to Dax in several ways. And I thought that it was a very interesting comparison. The characters were really, really interesting. I thought the relationships that were shown were really interesting. Holly reminded me of myself a little bit. She's always surrounded by guys, and the relationship with her best friends, but it was really more of a self-discovery book, and I liked how they the Romeo and Juliet aspects of it. If you like sweet contemporaries that have a little bit of self-discovery, and also I just like the setting of the wedding. I think that's I don't really like contemporaries. I don't read them a whole lot, but the reason I like this book is because it had an interesting take on it, and I really would like to read more of Lindsay Levitt. I know she wrote Going Vintage, which is another interesting contemporary that I've heard a lot of good things about, so I'm going to try to get my hands on that. But yeah, it was very interesting. I really liked Holly. I really, really liked Dax. I really liked their relationship. It's not the traditional fall in love and it's not the traditional falling in love story, and so that's also what intrigued me. The ending was also really surprising to me, and I was really happy. I like realistic endings, and I thought that it was a very realistic ending. It was interesting. So I don't think there's gonna be a sequel, but I would be interested to see what happened next with these characters. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but it was a very interesting standalone. If it's a standalone, I'm happy. If I get a sequel, I'll be perfectly happy, okay? If you know if there's gonna be a sequel, or if you read this book and want to share your comments, comment below. I also am gonna post a link to my book likes blog below where I did a more detailed, not spoilerish review of it. But thank you very much for watching my video. What are you guys reading now? What are your favorite contemporaries? Have you guys read anything else by Lindsay Levitt? Do you guys like it? Yeah, have a very nice day and happy reading, guys. Bye!